Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Gooner Tokes. It's me, Tokes, and it's a special show today because it is all about giving Declan Rice his flowers. Honestly, this guy is one of my favorite players in the Arsenal team, and today I'm going to break down a little bit exactly what he brings to the team, how important he is as a player, and how much he helps define this current Arsenal team. But before I get into that, you know what to do, people. Like, share, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. Help me grow the community. And let's just get into it because, hey, it's a huge game tonight against Liverpool. And it's a game that I expect Declan Rice to have a big say in. He has been phenomenal this season. Coming off of a brace against Bournemouth, the winning goals for the game, an incredible all-round performance. And Declan Rice just gives you that consistency that every manager wants from every player that they have. So let's break it down a little bit because Declan Rice is such a complete footballer that you really need to look at all aspects of the game when you're talking about him. So, first of all, if we're talking about his defensive capabilities, this guy reads the game so well and uses that to intercept passes and break up play and sniff out danger and stop things before they develop. That is so crucial. And one of the things that helps our defense out, because Declan Rice will get a tackle in, intercept the ball before it really gets to our defense and becomes a problem for them. And the more you do that, the fewer situations the defense have to deal with, and so the more able they are to focus on those situations in particular and do what they need to do. So Declan Rice, supporting from midfield, dropping back and helping the defenders is such an important part of how Arsenal are able to keep so many clean sheets, have such a great defensive record in general, and that obviously goes a long way to helping you win games and ultimately titles. The way he tracks back if he loses a ball is second to none. If he loses a ball, which happens in football, he takes absolute responsibility for that. He makes sure he gets back, gets a toe in, stops the opposition from taking advantage of that move because, hey, anybody can misplace a pass, and, you know, once you do that at the Premier League, you can get punished quite easily. But this guy does not give up, and that's partly to do with his engine. This guy is one of those players that the more the game goes on, the stronger they become. In the second half, Declan Rice really comes into his own. And when you see other players starting to get tired and faltering a little bit, Declan Rice steps up and comes into his own. His defensive capabilities are so important. And as a midfielder, especially a central midfielder, you need to have that part to your game. You're going to need to understand how and when to drop back to support the defense, because if you don't, they're going to be overrun. And like I said before, it's no surprise that we are so solid defensively when we have a player like Declan Rice there, and obviously Zubimendi as well. But today is about Declan Rice and giving him his flowers, because that guy, like I said, one of my favorite players. Then let's look at his actual role in midfield, because that's his position, right? Like I said before, he's got this incredible engine. He's able to run for days, right? Like I said, the more a game goes on, the stronger he gets and the weaker the opposition gets. And that's when, very often, Declan Rice comes into his own and takes control of that game, you know? He's able to turn defense into attack so quickly. He's such a box-to-box player, and you will see him one moment defending on the edge of our penalty box, and the next moment busting along to get into the penalty box of the opposition and trying to get a shot off or trying to make something happen. That's the kind of player he is. You're going to find him everywhere on the pitch. If you see his heat map, this guy covers practically every blade of grass on the pitch. He's got great passing range, and he's able to just grab a game by the scruff of the neck and, force his personality onto it. That is such an important thing as a midfield player. As a footballer in general, you need to have personality, you need to have swagger, you need to have presence, and Declan Rice has all of that, both on and off the pitch. He is such a wonderful person to have around the place, and he leads by example. He will drag us through in games when it's not quite clicking, when it's not quite working, when the fancy pretty football isn't there. Declan Rice is more often than not the person who steps up and does what needs to be done. He's not only such an elegant kind of footballer, but he's really old-fashioned, roll up your sleeves, get in and do whatever it takes to win. Like I said, the way he covers ground, the way he makes sure that he's aware. If you look at the way he scans when he's on a pitch, it's incredible. Whether he has the ball, whether he doesn't have the ball, he's constantly aware of what's going on in the pitch, where everybody else is, his teammates, the opposition, and that is such a fundamental part of being a top footballer. You got to scan, you got to know where everybody is, you got to have a picture of the game in your head. And when you watch Declan Rice, next time you're watching him, look at how much he looks around, look at how much he scans, look at how aware he is of where everybody is and what he needs to do next. His awareness in the central of the pitch in busy, heavy, crazy Premier League games is incredible, because it's hard to keep your calm and have that awareness in that kind of environment. That's why not everybody can make it to be the top in their position, because the amount of consistency, the amount of concentration, and the amount of intelligence as well that it takes to do that is incredible. And that's another thing. Declan Rice is a very intelligent player. He reads the game really well. He understands where he needs to be. That's why he's so good at cutting out passes. That's why he's so good at driving the team forward, because he always knows or has a very good idea of what the best thing to do in every situation is. Having him in midfield running the show is incredible. He's the one that gives players like Ødegaard license to go and do their fancy stuff, and with Zubimendi sitting back, Declan Rice is now free to do his box-to-box stuff, which is what I think he is best at. Turning defense into attack, or if we get caught out, tracking back from attack and making sure he gets a tackle in, making sure he gets into position, and making sure he is leading from the front. Declan Rice, what a player. And then when you look at his attacking capabilities as well, he's now adding goals to his game. A brace against Bournemouth. Obviously, I don't need to tell you about his brace against Real Madrid last season, but if you want to be a top box-to-box midfielder, you got to get the goals. Lampard did, Gerrard did, and now Rice is moving into that kind of conversation. All he needs is the trophies to back it up. Once Rice starts collecting some trophies for Arsenal, the conversations about his level and where he is in terms of, midfielders that have played in the Premier League he's going to be in a conversation with the best of the best, that's for sure. And he replicates his stuff for England, but I'm much more worried about what he does for Arsenal. Don't forget his set pieces, his corners, his free kicks, his consistency of delivery is incredible. And that's what makes it so hard to defend Arsenal set pieces, because he can put it exactly where he wants it. If Gabriel goes and says to him, put it right here, I'm going to be there, Declan can put it right there and Gabby will be there. That's why we get so much joy from that. So his set piece ability, again, puts him on a whole other level to a lot of players in the game, let alone the midfielders. Consistent delivery from corners, amazing free kicks, always causing trouble. Again, I mentioned it before, his runs into the box and his general timing as a footballer is incredible. He's now adding goals to his game, getting into the box at the right moments, and this is a really great time of the season for Declan Rice to find something more. Against Bournemouth, he was so crucial, and I have a feeling against Liverpool, he's going to be just as crucial. I can smell it. I can taste it in the air that Declan Rice is going to have one of those generational games today. I am here for it. Declan, we believe in you. We got your backs. Go out, express yourself, and show everybody how good you are. So his defensive skills, his midfield skills, his attacking skills, all of them top quality. And then when you add into that mentality and personality, now, that again is what sets you apart. The guy is so focused, so driven, so professional that he can't do anything else but succeed. His personality as well is so infectious around the team. Everybody loves him. You can see that. Everybody in the England camp loves him. Everybody in the Arsenal camp loves him. When you see interviews with this guy, he's just such a personable guy, such a nice guy, such an intelligent guy to listen to, and such an ambitious guy as well. That's one thing with his mentality. He really wants to win the biggest prizes. Don't forget, he dragged West Ham to their first trophy in however long, and that's something now that he can do for Arsenal, because if and when he does that for Arsenal, he's going to become a legend of this football club. Incredible mentality. That is top draw stuff. And one of the most important attributes of all is availability. This guy is consistent in terms of performances for Arsenal, in terms of appearances for Arsenal. He rarely misses a game. He missed a game against Villa, boom, he's right back for the next game to play. He recovers really well. He looks after himself really well. He looks after his body really well. And he makes sure that he's there, because you can be the best footballer in the world, but if you're not available to play games, you know, it's going to affect things. Look at Neymar, one of the most technically gifted players in the world, but his availability in his career, you know, that really hindered him. Cazorla as well. I love Cazorla, one of my favourite players ever to play for Arsenal, but his availability in the end was something that really affected his career at Arsenal. But Declan Rice is a really robust kind of player. Like I said, he recovers well, and that's down to his professionalism, basically, as a footballer. And you just gotta love having a player like this around the squad, around the team. The example he sets for younger players as well, the example he sets for teammates. And this is why, one final point, because people talk a lot about, oh, Declan Rice maybe should be the captain ahead of Odegaard or all this kind of stuff. I disagree. Don't get me wrong, Declan Rice is captain material. I've said that before. But he's not the kind of guy that needs an armband to show people that he's a leader. He's somebody that does it automatically. And I think Odegaard's personality is very suited to the team. I think Odegaard is kind of a reflection of Arteta in a way. And more often than not, that's what managers want on the pitch with their captain. So for me, let Declan be free. He doesn't need to be the captain to lead by example. He doesn't need to be the captain to talk to the players. He doesn't need to be the captain to, you know, set the standard that everybody else has to match. So just let him cook. And that's what I want Declan to do tonight against Liverpool. Cook him up. Cook some jollof rice. Put some spice in it. Some Scotch bonnet peppers. So the next day when Liverpool sit on the toilet, they're still feeling that defeat. You know what I mean? Declan Rice, what a player. So glad he plays for Arsenal. Why don't you drop me a comment? Let me know what you think about Declan Rice. For me, he's world class. That kind of conversation has got to stop. And when he wins those trophies, nobody will be able to question the quality of Declan Rice. That's for sure. Big game later against Liverpool. Like I said, expect a big game from Declan Rice. Can't wait. Looking forward to it. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that lovely stuff. Declan Rice is going to have a massive, massive say in that game tonight. Trust me. I will see you later, people. Have a great day. Peace. Bye.